Oh shit. Here we go again.
I just want to say, I know not everybody's a baseball guy or a baseball person, baseball lady, whoever, is hearing this and listening. But if you haven't been tuned into baseball this year, and like you don't even have to be, you could be a casual and understand that we are witnessing the possibly the greatest baseball player to ever step foot on the diamond. And Shohei Ohtani last night went 6 for 6 to put himself in a category that belongs to just him. He went 6 for 6. He is now not just 50-50, 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. And if you guys don't know why I'm saying 50-50, there's a 40-40 club. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. It's like an elite club of elite to get in, like to be able to manage that. He is at 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, 51-51 to be exact. And it is crazy to think about, we're alive to witness, like, how people talk about, Babe Ruth was the greatest baseball player of all. We're literally in a Babe Ruth moment right now. My body ain't what it used to be. Lord, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Real Conversations with Cozy and Murph. We are here after week 2 of the NFL with some updates for you. Talk a little Shohei Ohtani, the idiot that is Mel Kiper. Talk about the Thursday night game that was last night and the revival of Aaron Rodgers, and some more bets for you. We'll give us our locks of the week. We weren't too hot last week, so we got to save ourselves this week and put our best foot forward.
We were
That's
awful.
we
were awful last week.
We were bad, but it is what it is. New camera setup, no more fuzz. I think this looks a lot better. I have set up my iPhone as a camera. I feel like it's going to pick up a lot of stuff that I'm not used to having like a background here, so I don't really know what to do here. But it is what it is. Week 2, man. I feel like 2 with football, it's like we can just jump right into it. 'Cause, I mean, that's really what people are excited about. I know we talked because we recorded Friday last week. Bills, Dolphins, got that out the way. The process that was, and we've seen that 2 is probably going to be held out most probably all year. Do some reconsidering and some consoling, but a lot of 1:00 slates were great games on Sunday. A big one I feel like was the Saints look legit, super legit.
I think they've scored on every possession. It's like night and day from last year. Derek Carr looks good. Alvin Kamara had a hell of a game. I think he was like the top fantasy player of the week. Cowboys. I mean, I texted you. Cowboys going to Cowboy. I mean, you expect them to play good, and then they just shit the bed.
Yep.
That was my bet of the week, and of course, they just absolutely come out and, like I said, just looked terrible from the get-go. I think they were down like 14 points in the first quarter, and then it was just a rout. It was just an absolute disaster from Dallas from
the jump,
from the opening kickoff.
Yeah.
I will say I think the Saints are legit. We are only through 2 weeks, so a lot of what we say the first 2 weeks, you don't know what you've really got until you see a full 4 weeks, a full month of the season, because a lot of these teams are really figuring out their identity. They're figuring out, what they got on defense, what they have on offense, special teams, this, that, and the other. So it's like you got to take the first couple weeks with a grain of salt. I mean, what we expected, you can't really judge off of last year because these teams are brand new teams. You gotta kind of be objective about year to year. You can't really, unless you've got like a generational talent at quarterback, like a Mahomes or a Brady or a Rodgers or somebody like that. But yeah, Dak underperformed. I mean, they paid him. He did have 293 and a touchdown, but still, I mean, you got to do something. A lot of it was on the defense, though. I will say, a lot of it was on the defense. It was a lack of production from the defense. They gave up 44 points. You can't give up that many points and expect to win. Honestly, don't matter how powered your offense is. You give up 44, it's probably lost in the NFL.
That boy, Rashid
Rashid
Shaheed,
Shaheed,
he legit, bro.
he's on my fantasy.
That boy is
He's
legit.
on my fantasy on the Cozy and Murph, and he.
And then Alvin Kamara too, a good revival for him. I feel like people wrote him off pretty early too.
Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy, he's one of the best offensive players in the league. I put him up there with like McCaffrey, Saquon.
Yeah.
That type of player.
Yeah.
Because he's a dual threat. He can catch, can run, and he's always a threat if he's on the field. So
I think we'll get a big showing this week. It'll be a big test for the Saints this week playing Philly. And which we'll talk about Philly here down the road, which I'm not excited about. But we'll see what the Saints,
we'll talk a little about Philly later when we get into Monday night.
Another big game was Baker Mayfield's Buccaneers go into Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And
another NFC South team.
Yep.
Coming out of nowhere.
Big one. Baker Mayfield, man. I know we said it last week, but dude, good for him, bro. This is like
vindication.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everybody in the league wrote you off when you were on your way out of Cleveland, and you had to go through so much, going to Carolina, going out to, the Rams and playing on no time, and then ending up in Tampa Bay and going to be their franchise guy after Tom Brady. It's like huge shoes to fill. Good for him. And I mean, it was a great game. It was a footballer's football game between the Buccaneers and the Lions. I still think the Lions are really good. They dominated that first half defensively. Aiden Hutchinson was all over Baker, dude. He's a beast, bro. But
yeah, he's a force. Baker took care of business with his legs, though.
Yeah,
it was something that we kind of forgot that he was, a playmaker with his legs as well. He's not like a Lamar or anything, but you have to account for him taking off, out of the pocket, and so I feel like he kind of took advantage of that. The Lions weren't really expecting that. Nobody was expecting that, but Chris Godwin had a great game. I feel like Buccaneers. They're dangerous. They're frisky and fun. That NFC South conference is going to be better than we thought it was going to be. Outside of Carolina, Carolina's a disaster, of course. But, yeah, I mean, way to go, Bucks. It makes me nervous for the Falcons, that we have to contend with the best offense in the league so far with the Saints. And then you have a quarterback like Baker, who is versatile and his confidence is way up. And that's, that I feel like that plays into Baker's play style, is if he can play with confidence. That's why he kind of never succeeded in Cleveland or in Carolina, is because he was never in a system where his confidence was up and he felt like he had the reins. And it's like, finally he is in an offense where he feels like this is my team, and the team believes in him. So good shit on Baker. I feel like the Lions are going to be okay. Just a little setback. They're going to, come back strong this week. And on a side note, Amon-Ra, 11 receptions, 119 yards. Did not get in the fucking end zone, though.
Yeah.
Man.
You did say he was going to bounce back.
He had a bounce back game, but he did not get in the end zone, man. That's my bad on that part. But, yeah, I think the Lions will be okay.
Yeah. Well, I got a my bad right here, too. It's because the next game is the Colts and Packers, and I had the Colts covering.
Told you the Packers are. I don't think the Colts are that good though.
I don't think so
I don't think they're that good. I watched a lot of that game, and Anthony Richardson, as good as he is on the deep ball, he cannot throw any other pass.
Yeah,
it's like the intermediate to short range passes. He just is so inaccurate. It's like I don't have any confidence in him to make those, easy throws. He can make the extremely hard throws, but he's going to have to dial it in as far as, just taking what the defense gives you. You don't have to throw a 40-yard bomb every time. And it just feels like he's always looking for that.
Every time.
And I mean, maybe it's a maturity thing, but Malik Willis did enough to win. Packers defense looked really good. Colts defense did not look very good. Fucking Josh Jacobs had 32 carries for 151 yards.
Dog.
Yeah, and he went off. I mean, we expect him to be a performer throughout the season. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's going to take the Colts got to grow up, but the Packers look well, especially without their star quarterback. So that's my take.
Another good one was the Jets Titans. Unfortunately, the Titans fall yet again. Dude, what's going on with Will Levis? Who's he think he is? Like Superman?
It's another maturity thing. You've got to lead. Take care of the lead. Take care of the ball. Stop making these silly turnovers. Stop trying to do the most. It's okay to get sacked every now and then. You don't have to try to flip the ball out whenever you're going down and make these silly turnovers. I think the most telling clip of the weekend was the clip of the coach coming down the sideline. He was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, man. And what other team does that happen? Like, that's not good optics from the Titans,
No.
You don't want to see you don't want to see the head coach coming down and cussing out openly cussing out the starting quarterback. So I think Levis, he has I feel like he has the potential to be a good quarterback. He just needs to be smarter about what he's doing. And it goes back to even Kentucky. He did the same type of shit at Kentucky where it's like, man, just go down. You don't have to try to, make this miraculous play every time. The Titans have a good defense. Through 2 weeks, the Titans defense is one of the best defenses that we have seen this season. So it's like, just take the sack, punt the ball, let your defense do its thing, and then, but he's also got weapons. Ridley, Tony Pollard, what's the fucking...
They got D-Hop still there.
D-Hop, what's the tight end?
Tajay Spears.
Nkwaku, I don't know how to say his name, but I mean, they've got a pretty decent unit. So yeah, the Jets, they win. They feel like they looked a lot better. We'll get to the Jets again on this past Thursday night, but they win 24-17. I think they're going to be a sneaky good team this year. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers is finally finding his way back. He's finding his confidence. Even though he is the oldest player in the league, he looks like the past Thursday night, he looked like like he was back in his 30s.
Yeah.
Early 30s.
Looking good.
Like 32,
Yeah.
They call him they don't call him Park Rogers for no reason.
That clip's circulating right now of him absolutely
zonked
off something after
his fucking pupils were just betting around. He's like,
it would
I remember
have taken a serious injury to keep me off this field.
I remember watching that game against the Bears too. Whenever they had that post game interview, and I was like, man, he is fucked up.
Hey.
Do what you gotta do, you know. I mean, fuck it.
And perks do make you Superman for a short time. Good God. Superman game. Here's a Superman game. The Vikings are 2-0. Justin Jefferson, Superman 99-yard touchdown reception. That was a huge pickup. I watched a breakdown of somebody breaking down the Vikings defense, and I can't remember their defensive coordinator. It's the old Miami Dolphins
Brian
coach,
Flores.
Brian Flores. Dude is a maniac. They were breaking down his he's got all the guys on the line, right? And you're like, okay, so what do you think? What would you call this? Like, what would you think is happening? And all of them, as soon as the ball is snapped, sprint 20 yards downfield into a Tampa 2. And I guess Purdy went up to Flores after the game, was like, "You're a fucking madman, bro. Your defensive schemes are ridiculous." And they're clearly working.
To his credit, I mean, he did have a pretty decent record his last year in Miami. So I feel like he's one of the top defensive coordinators. He just probably isn't a head coach. You know,
Yeah.
he doesn't have the rapport with the players that you would like a head coach to have. But as far as defenses go, he can draw up a defensive scheme with the best of anybody. You know, I put him on par with like Spagnuolo as far as being able to just get in the quarterback's head and be able to just wreak havoc, because that's the main thing as a quarterback, is that you need to know what to expect. And with that type of defense, you never know what to expect. And so we saw it that game. I mean, the Niners were a 5.5 point favorite. I think they were up to a 6.5 point favorite. It came down, you know, closer to game time, but again, Sam Darnold looks good. The offense looks good. The Vikings are another dangerous team. I feel like they can probably contend with Detroit and Green Bay to be, and I mean, you know, Chicago as well, obviously. But um, that's going to be an interesting division to keep your eye on,
Yeah.
for sure.
I think
It's great coaching.
yeah, early season. So like we said, we can't, obviously dive too deep into like what issues are. I think the 49ers just ran into a really good defense, and sometimes you just got to catch a team on their day. I think the 49ers are still a really really good team, and I mean they're missing, the best back in the league, and they're missing some pieces, and they're still trying to figure out early season woes.
Yeah,
I seen they're going to be
Ayuk,
without Kittle. Yeah,
Ayuk is still trying to figure out because he missed all of camp
yeah,
with
trying
the
to
whole
get up to
contract
speed.
situation. So
Yeah, I think the 49ers will be fine. I think the Vikings are in a great position moving forward, and they've got a big week coming up this week. To be 3-0 is huge. Um, Another undefeated team played: Seahawks, Patriots. I think this is when we can now say, like, all right, Patriots, you got your one win. I don't know that they might not be the rest of the year after what I saw one
yeah, I
last
mean,
night.
I will say the Patriots are probably going to be one of the bottom teams in the league, especially after watching them against the Jets yesterday. But put up a good fight and went to overtime. I feel like this is finally the year that we can say Geno Smith. I mean, if it wasn't last year, it's definitely this year. He's earned his stripes. He's put his time in. He is a top veteran quarterback. Like, he
Yeah,
might not put up the numbers that all these other guys put up, but he is one guy that you can have under center that you're confident that can um, lead you to a win.
yeah,
And I feel like we're seeing that more and more with the Patriots. You know, they have a new Patriots, the Seahawks. They have a rookie coach, and that defense is going to be really good, though. I
yeah.
do expect the Seahawks defense to be one of the better defenses in the league at the end of the year. Again, another very tough conference, the NFC West. It's going to be outside of the Rams. I feel like the Rams are probably going to fall off the table just because of
Yeah.
injuries, you know.
Yeah.
But you've got Seahawks, Niners, and Arizona, who we'll get to Arizona here in a minute, but they looked fucking incredible.
Incredible, yeah.
But yeah, good
I
for the
see,
Seahawks. It was a good overtime win. Last second, or not last second, but field goal win to take the W at home. So
I seen another video of
no, they were on the road. I'm sorry.
yeah, I seen a video of Geno Smith, like somebody breaking down Geno Smith's film from like the first 2 games of the season, talking about how like he deserves more praise in being
Mhm.
a legit field general. Calling
I feel
things out,
like
making changes. He's a beast.
Gino gets a bad rap because of
The
his
Jets.
stint with the Jets. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, but since the Jets, he's been a formidable quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather have him than a lot of the starters on these other teams.
Yeah.
Outside of the top 10 quarterbacks, I wouldn't say Gino's a top 10 quarterback, but I would say he is definitely top half of the
Yeah.
league.
Yeah. I'd put him borderline top 10. He works his way in there.
For sure. Hey, give me just a second. I'll be
You're
right
good.
back.
You're good. With that game though, Antonio Gibson, DK Metcalf's huge. I think this might be the fall off of Tyler Lockett. He's gonna kind of fall out of rotation, especially with Metcalf, still being a guy, and the oncoming of Jackson Smith and Jigba, which is, that's big for me. New England though, they're in a tough situation. I can't see my back button. Can't see my back button. Now my thing doesn't work. I'll tell you what, everybody. I'll be tired. I ain't worked a Friday night shift in a month, maybe, from traveling and being on the road and such. Got my ass kicked.
All right, next game.
Giants and Commanders. Jaden Daniels gets his first NFL win. Commanders beat the Giants on 7 field goals, no touchdowns from the Commanders, but they still won 21-18. Ryan Robinson, huge game, 17 carries, 133. Malik Neighbors had a good game, though, 10 receptions, 127, and a touchdown. It was a good game, but I think Jaden Daniels is going to end up being legit, bro. 23 of 29 for 226, and boy can move.
Not bad. As long as he takes care of the football and protects himself.
Protects his head.
The Commanders, they don't really have a defense, though. That's my main concern with the Commanders. As far as the Giants go, this is on the coach. How do you not bring a backup kicker just in case? They knew he had an injury. They knew the kicker had an injury. Ends up getting hurt on the opening kickoff, and then they have to go for it on 4th down and extra points. Brian Daboll is a complete mishap on his part. Like you said, good on the Commanders, good on Jaden Daniels, and I feel like we're looking at Daboll maybe getting fired this season. If they're not at least competitive, and at some point in the season, we are looking at him getting fired. But yeah, it was good to see Jaden Daniels do well. That's who I wanted Atlanta to pick. I wanted Jaden Daniels. Of course, he wasn't there whenever we had our pick, but that's who I wanted. But yeah, good on the Commanders. Giants got to
Commanders. I don't need to speak too much on the next game, which is Chargers and Panthers. Obviously, the Panthers are a dumpster fire, but another huge shout out, J.K. Dobbins, 17 for 131. And I know that this was spoke about on part of my take. Harbaugh is 1, a winner, and 2, he's a leader of men. He got Quinton Johnston catching touchdown passes, 2 of them. Everybody had wrote that boy way off and said he was a bust.
Yeah. And we might talk about this later when we get to the Bears, but I feel like in this day and age, people are so reactionary, and it's like, if you don't do great right off the bat, then everybody's just going to write you off and say you're a bust. But I feel like you got to give players a little bit of time in this league. I mean, you go from being a big fish in a small pond to being a small fish in a big pond. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is like you're playing against grown ass fucking men who have bills to pay, who take this shit seriously. In college, it's like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm sure the players still take it seriously, but at the same time, like a lot of these guys that play in college are not going to play in the NFL. And so it's not the same level of competition, and you have to give these players time to grow.
Yeah.
And so to just say somebody's a bust after their rookie year I feel like it's very unfair. But yeah, the Chargers, I mean, looked great against, of course, the Panthers. Big headline out of this game is Bryce Young getting benched after 18 games.
Yeah.
He's got a 2-16 record. I feel like he's the type. He is one of the prime examples in the league right now. It's like he was thrown to the wolves too early. He didn't have a chance to really understand the game, and so now he's kind of taking the brunt of it. I do expect him to reclaim the starter role eventually, because you don't give up that much capital, especially in the draft, to just bench him after 18 games. I feel like it's a wake-up call, though. I feel like this was kind of like, we need more out of you. And we'll see how Andy Dalton does this coming up week. But, man, Panthers are just in hell right now. Like if I was a Panthers
Literal
fan,
dumpster fire.
like sometimes I feel bad for myself for being a Falcons fan, but like imagine being a Panthers fan. Like Jesus Christ, could always be worse.
Could always be worse than how you got it. I know that's right. A team just as bad or seems to be in turmoil or trouble in paradise is this next game, the Browns and Jaguars game. This could be the end of what the Jaguars got. Trevor Lawrence 14-30 after the Cowboys gave that Browns defense hell. Doug Peterson, I mean, it doesn't seem to be working. They're not living up to expectations.
And I feel like a lot of people, us included, kind of called it. This is going to be a down year for the Jaguars. It's going to be. I just don't believe in Trevor Lawrence. I don't feel like Doug Peterson believes in Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you look at the past two games; they had a lead, and then they ended up giving up the lead and losing against Miami last week, and then against the Browns this past week. Yeah, it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a rough year, especially in that division, the AFC South. You've got the Texans, who look great, Tennessee, who should be 2-0 right now.
Yep.
And then they might be better than the Colts. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it's going to be rough sledding, I think, for the Jaguars this year. As far as the Browns go, I mean, it was good to see Deshaun Watson. I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan, but if I was putting myself in the shoes of a Browns fan, it was good to see that he is at least competent and can win a game. I feel like the Browns defense is still legit. We'll have to see. Like I said, there's not you have to take these takes with a grain of salt, but the Browns defense did look better and Deshaun Watson did look better. So it is what it is at this point.
No, I agree 100%. If I'm a Browns fan, it was good to see Deshaun Watson kind of move around instead of just sticking there. The first game didn't look like he gave two shits. This last game, it looked like he had a little heart about him. So if I'm a Browns fan, I say, all right, well, we're moving in a direction.
I mean, you paid the man like $260 million. You got to see what you got.
Yeah.
It's good to see that he can at least win a game on the road.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Now, what is going on with the Ravens? Ravens fall to Raiders. Basically blew us the second half. I mean, let Gardner Minshew have 3 fourth quarter scoring drives, pull one together. Gardner Minshew 30 of 38, 276, and a tutty. Ravens fall to 0-2.
Yeah, I think this is another game where I mean, to be fair, the Ravens did play Kansas City on the road
Yeah.
first game of the season. So I feel like, and they played them within one play. It was, like we said, a toenail away from being tied up there at the end. But this is a game you absolutely have to win if you're the Ravens. At home, you have a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter against a mediocre quarterback at best. No offense to Gardner Minshew, but I mean, let's just call it like it is.
Career backup.
Yeah, career backup. And you let one slip through your fingers. I feel like this is going to ignite a fire underneath the Ravens, and they might rattle off 5 in a row here, 5, 6 in a row, because if we know anything about the Harbaugh brothers, they are going to have their teams like this is hell week. This week coming up, this has been hell week for the Ravens.
Yeah.
And he's going to have John Harbaugh is going to have his team ready to go. I can't remember who they play coming up, but I wouldn't want to be the team that goes against them. They were a 9.5-point favorite coming into this game, and they end up losing. And it's just like, man, good for the Raiders, though. I mean, they finally, I say finally, but I feel like Antonio Pierce gets that vindication of getting that ugly punt out of the way, and it's like now you kind of feel like they're a legit opponent. Yeah. Before it was like, man, we don't really know what to think about the Raiders. They're in a very tough division. It's going to be hard for them to top the Chiefs, but I still think they're better than the Broncos.
Yeah.
And who else is in that division? Who's the other team?
Was it the Rams?
No, that's NFC.
The 49ers?
No, that's NFC.
That's NFC.
It's the Chargers and
Cardinals.
No, that's again the NFC.
I don't fucking know.
I feel like they're probably the third best team in that division. That shows how much we know about football right there.
Raiders, Broncos, Chiefs, Seahawks are NFC. Fuck, I don't know, bro.
I don't know either, but we'll figure it out. All right. Next game, we got Rams and Cardinals.
Good God.
This was an absolute rout from the get-go coming out game for Marvin Harrison. 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 tutties. I mean, absolute fucking monster game from him. I feel like last week people were dogging him. Week 1, people were dogging him, talking about how he's slow. He doesn't run routes crisp, yada, yada, yada. Kyler Murray saying it's not my job to get him the ball, but it seemed like there was a concerted effort to get him the ball early in that game because he started off with the first 2 touchdowns of the game. And from the get-go, it was clear that the Cardinals, were in total control. LA, they're just dealing with a lot of injuries. They're missing Puka Nacua, missing a lot on their offensive line, and their defense is not going to be good this year. It's just not. I mean, they're missing Aaron Donald, a bona fide Hall of Famer. We said it last week. It's just not going to be pretty, I feel like, for the Rams this year. As much as I hate to say it, I like Sean McVay, I like Matthew Stafford, but you can only do so much as a quarterbacking coach. It takes a whole team. So good on the Cardinals. I feel like this was a fucking, I don't know what you call it, but just like a release. So they had all this built up angst, especially after losing week 1. And finally the Cardinals come through, win 41-10. So
the Cardinals could easily be 2-0 right now. I mean, if they don't let that game walk away from them. Kyler Murray, jersey going to the Hall of Fame for the perfect passer rating. And 2, his 4 incompletions were to Marvin Harrison. So Marvin could have had an even bigger game. Good for Marv. I'm happy to see him, get into the end zone, get some receptions, kind of break the rookie, kind of like break free moment. It's like, you're here, dude. You can do this. Everything's going to work. It's good to see him do that. It's good to see. Next game is Steelers, Broncos. Justin Fields, 2-0, starting for the Broncos. I guess this would bring up, because, I mean, I want to talk about the Broncos, but I want to bring up this question. It's like, if you're the Steelers, do you just keep rolling with Fields at this point?
Yeah, I think you have to. If he comes out and they go 3-0 with him this next week, I feel like you kind of have to. You don't want to shake up the confidence of your team. I feel like Fields is kind of, and nothing. I mean, Russell Wilson, I feel like he's kind of hard to get behind.
Yeah.
If you're the rest of the team, it's just because he's so goddamn corny, and it's like he's inactive and he's fucking showing up in full pads. It's like, oh my god, dude, just put a fucking hat on and some shorts and a t-shirt and come out with your headset. Nobody, we know you're not gonna play, so just shut the fuck down, man. I get it. I mean, it is what it is. The Steelers, I feel like they have a legit Super Bowl caliber defense. They don't give up points. TJ Watt is an absolute animal. Their secondary is fucking insane. But like I said, we might be proven wrong in the coming weeks, but I feel like the Steelers, this is what the Steelers have been throughout the Mike Tomlin era, is play solid defense, take what you can on offense, kick field goals, and play not to lose.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did. Bo Nix, 20 of 35, 246, 2 interceptions. I kind of feel bad for him because I just don't know that he has anybody to throw to.
No.
Outside of Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
And it's like he needs more weapons around him, man. I know what I said about Bo Nix before the season started, but none of the rookie quarterbacks have been playing well at all. So
I think Bo Nix has it in him, and I think it'll come. It's growing pains. It's figuring things out, figuring out the NFL speed and how to move, and working on a team that is just short on weapon. Your number 2 wide receiver is the number 4-5 wide receiver from Detroit last year, and Josh Reynolds. It's like,
and also the Broncos are that 4th team in the AFC West.
Yeah,
that was the team we were trying to think of that we could not.
I was sitting here scrolling through. I was like, "Who the fuck are we missing?" And then I started counting them out. I was like, "Oh, we got 4 right there." Oh Jesus! I think the Broncos will be 7. They could probably rattle off 7 wins this year.
They're going to surprise some people. They did last year.
They're going to catch some teams off guard.
Yeah.
Remind me.
So.
This next game was a very controversial game, and I felt like the entire world had something to say about it. The Bengals-Chiefs game, Joe Burrow returns to Burrowhead, goes head-to-head, and I mean, the Bengals looked so much better this game than week 1. Obviously, it's another 0-2 start, but per usual, it's kind of a situation where it's like it comes down to letting the Chiefs have a chance and letting the referees make a call.
Yeah.
Which it was clear PI. I get that. I agree. It was a PI, right? But
I don't even know. Though. I don't even know. And I'm a Patrick Mahomes stan, but like at the same time, like I don't know that was a clear PI.
He was making a play on the ball, I feel like.
And it was high. You know what I mean? And it was a bang play.
Yeah.
It could have went either way, to be honest with you. And, the Chiefs, we've said it, I don't know how many times, they are getting the Tom Brady Patriots treatment right now.
Yep.
They get the benefit of the doubt because they are the top team in the league right now. Patrick Mahomes is the face of the league. Travis Kelce is the face of the league right now.
Yep.
And there's not been a lot of production out of Kelce, but I mean,
you got to cover.
Yeah, and either way, the refs called it.
Yep.
So it is what it is. The Bengals did cover though. I took them at a 6.5 point favorite. They covered. Chiefs only win by 1. So if you want to take anything away from this as a Bengals fan, at least they covered.
Good
and
teams
I feel
win,
like
great teams cover.
Yeah, and I feel like whoever, I can't remember who the Bengals play next week, but I feel very sorry for them because
Yeah,
they're
they're
gonna
about to.
come out and they're gonna look to put up fucking 45 points.
Yep.
Joe Burrow is going to be on point. I feel like T. Higgins is going to be back finally. I
Yeah.
think maybe he's
I
listed
think.
as questionable. He's
Yeah.
on my. He's on two of my fantasy teams. I've got three fantasy teams. He's on two of them. He's listed as questionable. I fully expect him to play this week. So, yeah,
Could
I
be a
think
route.
the Bengals will be okay. They're going to have to find a way to compete in that division. It's one of the
Yeah.
best divisions in football.
Yeah. I think the Bengals will be fine. Chiefs 2-0. A lot better start this year than last year. So obviously it's still very early in the season for everybody. So I'm excited to see what the Bengals pull together. This is their gist at this point. They're going to start slow and rattle it off at the end of the season. Keep Burrow upright, and they're going to be in good position. The big L from this game was Pacheco going down. He's probably
Yep.
going to be out like 4 to 6, maybe possibly the
I saw
year.
6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's a long time. So Carson Steele going to get reps. They got Samaje Perine. They brought back Kareem Hunt, which was a huge thing because Kareem Hunt was originally cut from the Chiefs for the video that circulated the internet of the domestic violence, and so he's going back to Kansas City and he's on the practice squad. I wouldn't be shocked to see Kareem Hunt getting some snaps here. Probably not this week, but the next week. If you got Carson Steele, start him. He runs like a fucking madman.
Yeah.
Runs
I
like
mean, he's got a
all right,
gator at home.
literally. Sunday night game. Bears, Texans. Caleb Williams does not look good yet again. CJ Stroud, little bros him. I don't even think that's the thing. That's probably the conversation point of this game is after the game.
I mean,
CJ Stroud.
it's a lot to do about nothing. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
I feel
Exactly.
like people are making a big deal about this, and you would like to for your young quarterback to be receptive of criticism, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams are the same age, even though Stroud is 1 year, has 1 year in the NFL over him. Um, I mean, yeah, you're a competitive person. Like, I'm not going to be happy for you to just say, "Oh yeah, for somebody to come up to me and be like, "Oh yeah, you're going to be okay. You'll be fine." It's like,
Yeah.
no, fuck that. We should have won
Yeah.
this game.
Yep.
But
I know how I am as a competitor, and like
oh
just
yeah,
after a game where I feel like I played like ass and I know I could have done more. I don't want to fucking hear from nobody, bro. Call me tomorrow if you want to talk to me.
yeah.
Don't do it in front of the
When
camera.
you're
Like,
mic'd up in front of fucking
yeah,
millions of people, yeah,
like I get Stroud's point of view. Like he really is a good guy and he's doing I feel like what he feels is the best thing. Like he's trying to take that role. Like he's trying to, like
be a mentor kind of.
yeah, like he's been in
But
the
at the
league a
same
year. He's taking
time,
his
like
lumps.
at the same, yeah, I mean, like I said, he has his rookie year. He already had his rookie year. But at the same time, if you're Caleb Williams, it's like, dude, I feel like I'm on the same level as you. Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason for you to like. I get it, you have 1 year experience on me, but like, I feel like we're on the same level,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be a rude awakening for Caleb because I feel like
Yeah.
he's been on top of every level that he's been at high
Yeah.
school, college. Like he's been the man, and it's now he's been humbled twice.
Yep.
So it's like, dude, this is the fucking NFL. Like I said
This is
earlier,
the league.
this is the top tier. This is the grown ass men. You're not playing against college kids that
The
are going to
Pac-12, bro.
graduate with a marketing degree. No, you're playing against fucking the best of the best. So it's time to wake up and you got to do what you thought was a lot. You got to do even more,
Yep.
as far as preparation. So
Yep.
I think the Bears will be okay though. They have a lot of talent, offense and defense wise. Their offensive line is fucking awful though.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
so
one.
bad.
That's the one facet of their team that they did not address in the offseason.
Yeah.
And so I feel like it might be a year or two before we really see what Caleb Williams really is, because I don't care how good of a quarterback you are, without an offensive line, you can't do shit.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Let's talk about the Monday night game. The Cozy and Murph game, which we didn't even think about when we were talking about last week. I didn't even think about it. But the Atlanta Falcons went to the link and played the Philadelphia Eagles. And by the grace of God, Philly handed one away. And Kirk Cousins, prime time Kirk Cousins showed up. And he fucking took it down the field with a minute 40 left and
yep.
proved that the Falcons can do this shit. You do not slip in front of Kirk Cousins because he's going to drive the field and he's going to take this ball game and win it.
What did Raheem Morris say? Don't blink. Don't blink.
Blink,
That's who we are.
dude.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Total transparency here with the last drive of the game. And by and large, the Eagles were in charge of this game. I mean,
Yeah.
the Falcons did have the lead, but with the way the game was going, the momentum and everything, the Eagles had all of it going, especially towards the end of the fourth quarter. And I was like, man, another fucking just absolute gut wrenching loss for the Falcons. And I was totally ready to just give up. But that's part of being a fan. It's like, dude, anything can happen. And I'm sitting here in my living room, and as soon as Saquon Barkley drops that ball on third down, I was like,
oh shit.
oh my God, we have life. We have fucking life here. And the rest is history. The Falcons take the ball right down the field. I don't know what the Eagles defense was doing.
Oh my God, bro.
I don't know what they were doing. They were playing prevent like 20 yards off the ball.
What do we do, bro? There's a minute 40 left with, you know what I'm saying?
You still got to just play regular defense.
Yeah.
It's not like there's only 30 seconds and they have no timeouts. It's like you gotta be smart. But yeah, dude. I mean, Falcons take it down. Drake London gets his go ahead touchdown. He does the little celebration, gets the flag. I was like, dude, fuck it. I don't even care about that, man. I was like, I don't even care about that, bro. It's tied up
Young
at least.
Hoku is gonna nail this, bro.
Yeah, he nailed it. Ended up, and then the Falcons put pressure on Jalen Hurts, and he throws an interception to end the game. I've been on the other side of this game so many times that it's like finally we get to win one. And it was just, man, it was like euphoria. Like, I don't even know how to describe how happy I was in that moment. And I know we still have a long, long season ahead of us, the Falcons and the Eagles both. And I feel like, the Eagles have some stuff to figure out. But at least offensively, you have scored 20 plus points 2 games in a row. The Falcons, we scored 10 points last week in week 1. So it's like, man, finally we have a little bit of fucking a word I'll continue to say, vindication of like, man, we are legit. We are dangerous. And this was good for Kirk Cousins' confidence. This was good for Raheem Morris. This was good for our defense. This was good for Drake London. Bijan had a hell of a game. And I feel like finally, and obviously, I'm biased and I'm going to dick ride the Falcons a little bit here, but we finally have found an identity. Run the ball, get your receivers open on key plays, hit open receivers, play solid defense, and we have a formula to win. Yeah. And it's like I said, it's going to be tough to compete in this division when you got the Saints and the Buccaneers who are both looking like fucking world beaters right now.
Yeah.
We've got Kansas City. Let's see. We've got Kansas City next week. The Falcons do. Saints and then Buccaneers and then the Panthers. So if we can win one of these next 3 games, I feel like we'll be sitting pretty.
Yeah.
Because I'm already, I don't mean to look ahead, but I feel like we can beat the Panthers pretty easily.
Yeah, you get
and
that
then
one.
you look at Philadelphia. Like I said, they have some stuff to figure out. Their defense, I'm worried about Nick Sirianni. Let's just be honest. I'm worried about him. I feel like
I don't think he's.
he has lost the locker room. They have the Saints next week and then the Buccaneers. So we basically have almost the same schedule.
Yeah.
Eagles play the Saints next week, and they have Buccaneers and then Browns. So it's going to be a tough sledding for the next 3 weeks for both of these teams. But it was good. It was finally good just to finally get a win in primetime. Kirk Cousins is 4-1 in his last 5 primetime starts, so he's shifting the narrative. I won't say too much more. But yeah, man, I'm so proud of my team. I couldn't be more proud of my team.
I just wish everybody could like see the text messages that we were exchanging through that game. We had a halftime call.
I mean, yeah, we FaceTime each other at halftime, and then towards the end of the game, I was like, "Fuck the Falcons, man!"
You're literally like, "Fuck this! I'm fucking done. Why are all my teams poverty teams?"
I was like, "Why are all these teams trash?"
Why
let me find it. Let me find it. All right.
I was like, "GG's, bro. GG's."
I said, I hate this team. It's trash, all of it. And then you said it's Matt Ryan's fault. I was like, yeah, he's a fucking bitch. And what's funny, what's ironic is he was on the call with Peyton and Eli on their broadcast. And then JD says, fuck Raheem Morris too. And I said, about time to pick another team. I'm a loser. I hate it. All my teams suck dick. Eagles are going to be the team to watch out for this year. And then JD says, well, we welcome you to join the Eagles. And then he said, right after that, he said that could hurt us. And this is right after Saquon dropped the pass. And I said, kick the field goal, play defense. And then it was a bad snap. He saved the hold. He ended up kicking the field goal to go ahead by 6. I said, Philly winning the division, Cowboys suck. And then you said, JD says, a lot of ball game left for the Falcons. I said, Kirk is garbage. Then you said, primetime Kirk, ? I said, be honest. And then you said, pick to Cooper DeJean inbound. So he was calling his shot right there.
That's the curse. That's where I got cursed right there. And I said it too early.
Yeah, and then it goes on, and then the Falcons end up winning. He said, I'm going to bed. Fuck Kirk Cousins. I said, let's go. Tush push my ass. So it was all good. It was all good sportsmanship. You know, we kept it respectful and all that. No. But it was a fun to watch our teams compete, you know.
Yeah, it was good.
And who knows, we might see each other later on in the playoffs. So
yeah.
Hell of a time. Week 2 was fun for sure.
I don't know about Sirianni. But we got a lot of football left. We'll see where things go. I guess we could just say real quickly that the Jets-Patriots happened last night. Aaron Rodgers looked fantastic. You know, good for him. Patriots really, really struggled. Their line is uber bad. I get why they're not playing Drake May. I don't really have too much to say.
Rodgers looked like the Rodgers of old. I mean, he was precise on every single throw. Didn't seem like he was really, you know, uncomfortable at all in that game. Yeah. And so, yeah, Patriots are probably going to be a really bad team. Before we get into the next week, let me go piss real quick.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, we have had a minute. We got to talk Shohei Ohtani, Mel Kiper, and him trashing cover 2. Buddy, go back to the fucking 60s. We'll do week 3 real quick. Advertisement, C4, and Zen or On or another pouch brand. Please sponsor me. I will gladly advertise for you guys, especially C4. Like I'm a fucking junkie, clearly. God, I can't believe we lost that game. Anybody that watched that Philly Falcons games knows. And if they know me, they were like, dude, come on. I had people texting me out of the blue like, oh, tough loss. Who the fuck are you telling tough loss to, bro? I'm the one that's hurt here. You guys just got to enjoy a good football game, which it was a good football game. I can't believe they didn't run the ball at the end there. You got a minute and 50 left, and Saquon has been controlling. We could have ran the ball, got 1 yard, and we could have lined up and pushed everybody for 2 yards. We could have got the first and won the game. But it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Good God. Baby update. We are like 10 weeks along. See all his baby stuff over here. This new camera doesn't fill out the screen, which is not even a new camera. It's just my phone. Just my phone. Lord. Not the wild hair. All right. You are still muted. There you are.
Hello, week 3.
Hey, let's roll week 3 real quick so we can still give some love to Shohei and get our bets out there for the people. Let's just roll through and do some picks. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Giants, Browns. I'm taking the Browns.
Yeah, I'm taking the Browns as well.
Yeah. Packers, Titans. Ooh. This is Will Levis' revenge game.
Yeah, I'm rolling. Well, this is Malik Willis.
Malik Willis revenge game.
I'm rolling with the Titans, though. Again, at home, a team they should beat. They're a 3-point favorite. Going with the Titans. Bears, Colts. Going with Bears here.
Yeah, I'm with the
Bears start 3-0. I feel like Caleb Williams is finally going to start rolling. I just don't see a lot with Anthony Richardson. It's going to take a while for him to develop.
Texans, Vikings.
This is a tough one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm going to roll Texans here. Just keep them hot. I do like the Vikings, though. Houston's a 2-point favorite, which I feel like.
On the road.
Yeah. This is a tough game, but I'm going to take Texans here.
I'm gonna take Vikings. I think the Vikings are. I mean, they just beat the best NFC team in the league.
They did. They did. I believe in my boy Stroud. I'm gonna roll with it. Eagles at Saints. Oh, this is another tough game. Fucking Saints are 2.5 points favorites. I expect the Saints to beat us.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm taking Saints here.
I expect the Saints.
I think the Saints cover.
I have never once picked a team to beat the Eagles. I want everybody to know that. But sometimes you got to give and hope for a change.
Yeah, and I think Saints win here, and then the Eagles are really going to have to do a lot of soul searching.
Yeah, Sirianni better be without a job if we lose this fucking game. I don't care who we got to bring in. Bring in Dom. Bring me in. I'll go coach the Birds. We're going to hand the ball off to Saquon. We're going to line up. We're going to push. And by God, we're not going to draw up long-ass routes that are long developing. We're not doing that.
Oh, you got to get the ball out of Jalen Hurts quick.
Yeah, or let Hurts run around a little bit. Something. If it's going to be long developing, it needs to be like a rollout where Hurts is rolling out left or right, and then let the play develop. It's just
and I feel like that's where kind of the Eagles have fallen off last year, was they lost both their offensive and their defensive coordinators to head coaching jobs. So you kind of see the weakness of Sirianni. Sirianni is more of a rah-rah guy. He's not really like an actual
motivator.
Coach. Yeah.
He is the motivator on Madden. Chargers, Steelers. This is a tough game. This is going to be a footballer's paradise game.
I'm taking Steelers.
I'm taking Steelers as well. Broncos, Buccaneers.
Taking Bucks at home.
Yeah, I'm taking Bucks here. Panthers, Raiders. Andy Dalton. I'm taking Raiders.
Taking Raiders as well. I feel like the Panthers will probably have a better showing. They might be able to cover. They're +6 underdog.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Raiders, especially after this last week against the Ravens. They have their confidence up. They're going to be able to win this game pretty easily.
So too. Dolphins, Seahawks. The Dolphins did sign Tyler Huntley, Lamar Jackson light, but I still think that they said he's going to be backup to Skylar Thompson. I got
Yeah,
Seahawks here.
I'm taking Seahawks here. I picked up the Seahawks defense in one of my fantasy leagues.
Yeah.
So I expect the Seahawks to have a pretty dominant performance on both sides of the ball. The Dolphins' defense is trash. The only thing that kept them in games anyway, even going back to last year, was their offense. And now they're minus their starting quarterback. I feel like the confidence is going to be kind of down. But we'll see what Mike McDaniel can do and Skylar Thompson, and we'll see what kind of game plan they have. But I feel like the Seahawks probably win this game.
All right, we got Ravens going to Dallas, play the Cowboys.
I'm taking Baltimore, dude.
Yeah, I got Baltimore
My
here.
Cowboy hate meter is back up. I was kind of in on them after week 1, but also they played the Browns.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it was a good showing for them. Week 1, week 2 was abysmal. And I feel like there's a lot of shit for them to figure out. Mike McCarthy really has to show out here.
Yeah.
To show that he can compete with the best of the best. Even though the Ravens are 0-2, I still consider them a top 10 team in this league.
Yeah, I got the Ravens here. 49ers go to the Rams. I'm going to say 49ers get back.
Yeah, I'm going to say Niners show out here. I'm expecting a double-digit win.
Yeah. Lions at Cardinals. Detroit, 3-point favorite on the road.
I'm taking Detroit.
Yeah. I think this will be a good game.
It'll be a good game. It will be. It's Detroit's a 3-point favorite, but I think Detroit they're going to be hungry.
Yeah.
You know, they feel like they shouldn't have lost against the Buccaneers. And the Cardinals are probably riding high after a 41-10 victory, so.
All right, Sunday night game, we got Chiefs going to Atlanta. This would be a huge fucking win for you guys if you can pull this off.
I would love to say that I think the Falcons are going to win, but I just don't. Yeah. I just don't think the Falcons are going to win. I think the Chiefs probably take this one. But, you know, as long as the referees are on their side, it's hard to pick against them.
I'm going to take Chiefs here too, but I'm doing that in hopes that I am fade God this year. All right, we got 2 Monday night games, which is crazy to think about. 2 Monday night games. We got Jaguars at Bills. I'm going to take the Bills.
Yeah, I'm taking Bills -5.
Yeah.
Jaguars really haven't shown me anything to believe in. The Bills looked good against Miami, which they always beat Miami. Yeah. They were tested against Arizona, but Josh Allen was able to bring them back and win that game. So I think the Bills at home are probably a tough opponent.
Yeah. And then the last Sunday night game, 8:15, Commanders going to Cincinnati. Bengals get right. I think they're going to hurt the Commanders' feelings.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Cincinnati wins big time. I see this being a 2-touchdown game.
At least
10 to 14 points.
Yeah, they're going to cover -7. All right. You want to give me – you got any locks you want to give me? Or I ramble Shohei? Well, I can give you this so you can look for a second. But I just want to say – I know not everybody's a baseball guy or a baseball person, baseball lady, whoever, you know, is hearing this and listening. But if you haven't been tuned into baseball this year, and like you don't even have to be, you could be a casual and understand that we are witnessing possibly the greatest baseball player to ever step foot on the diamond. And Shohei Ohtani last night went 6 for 6 to put himself in a category that belongs to just him. He went 6 for 6. He is now not just 50-50, 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases. And if you guys don't know why I'm saying 50-50, there's a 40-40 club. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. It's like an elite club, the elite of elite getting, like, to be able to manage that. He is at 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases, 51-51 to be exact. And it is crazy to think about, we're alive to witness, like, how people talk about, Babe Ruth was the greatest baseball player of all. We're literally in a Babe Ruth moment right now. This guy is going to not only go down as probably one of the greatest hitters and probably the greatest offensive season ever, but he's also a top 10 pitcher in baseball at the same time, which is insane, to be honest. And then on the flip side too, and I'm giving love to Aaron Judge. I hate the Yankees. I hate the Yankees. Everything in me, but Aaron Judge is carrying the Yankees with having, if not as good as Ohtani, he doesn't have the stolen bases right, but a better pure hitting offensive season. Like, we're alive at the time when we're witnessing two of the greatest hitters in baseball history. It's actually insane. And I just want to kind of show love to them. Baseball season is done. The Reds have been eliminated, and we're about to reach playoff time.
Mets could make the
They could
wild
sneak in.
card.
They could sneak in. Mets ending up being better than the Reds. I would have bet my life that wasn't going to happen. I actually thought the Reds would hit the over this year on win total, which was at 81.5, and we're not going to fucking get there. We're not going to get there. Stupid. I fucking hate the Reds. You know what? One of these days, I'm going to bust off a rant about Cincinnati Reds ownership, and I'm going to fucking send it to them, and I'm going to tell them how stupid they are, and they're not going to care, but I'm going to care that I said it.
Do what you got to do, big dog.
Do what I got to do. All right, my lock of the century. I'm taking the Bengals. They're covering 7 points. That's easy money against the Commanders. If they don't, the Bengals don't cover, their season's done. I'm saying it. Put your mortgage on it, ladies and gentlemen.
Bengals covering 7.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go Ravens +1 on the road at Dallas. I bet for Dallas last week, so I'm betting against Dallas this week.
I'm done with Dallas.
Yeah, fuck
Dallas, you're cursed the rest of the year, Dallas. What about an anytime touchdown hitter? See, for me, I'm gonna go. I always end up leaning on the running backs. I feel like they're gonna get the tutty.
Yeah, I mean that's the easy one to go with.
Think that because I had Pacheco last week, and I mean he ran well, he just didn't find the end zone. Amon-Ra, you had Amon-Ra, and he
had a great game, just didn't find the end zone.
Didn't find the end zone. I'm gonna take Josh Jacobs as long as he plays. As long as he plays. If not, it'll avoid the bet. He hasn't found the end zone yet this year. He's due. He's got 48 carries. He's due. I mean, he's leading the league in carries right now. 235 yards on 48 carries. I'm going to take Josh Jacobs to break the streak, get him a tutty at Titans.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jordan Mason.
Ooh, good one.
Against the Rams. He's scored in the last 2 games. He seems to be the bell cow running back now that McCaffrey's out. I'm going to go anytime touchdown, Jordan Mason.
I like that. There's your bets of the week. I know we're getting pretty deep into this. We wanted to talk Mel Kiper. Just, ladies and gentlemen, he's an idiot. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, he wants to take away cover 2 defense. And if you're not aware of what that is, it's 2 high safeties that play half and half of the field. It's one of the staple defenses of a lot of these teams. You got cover 1, cover 2, cover 3. He wants to eliminate cover 2. He says that the safeties play too deep and it's impossible for these teams to. And if you look at it, I mean, honestly, the scoring is down, but
that's football.
You can't. But at every turn, we just want to tear down the defenses. We have to give them credit where credit is due. They're playing better. Now, granted, we do have a lot of young quarterbacks playing this year, but that's neither here nor there. I feel like the defenses have kind of turned it up, and this is the way it goes in the NFL. To be offense, offense, offense for 4 or 5 years, and then finally the defense catches up. Then the rules change, and then the offense, exceeds what the defense is able to keep up with. So I get it. Offense puts butts in seats. It sells tickets. It's revenue for the league. I understand that, but you can't take away a core fundamental just look, an absolute look that every defense runs. It's silly. I think Mel Kiper was just, I feel like he was kind of clickbaity. He was just looking for views. He just wanted to say something outrageous in order to.
What will get me trending on Twitter?
Yeah. And I don't think he really believes that. So.
Take away a defensive scheme. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys listening and appreciate you sticking with us. We will come to you next week after all of our games have wrapped up for the week. Do us a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do what you got to do. Just help us get a name out there. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Murph, you better go get your ass in bed. Early morning tomorrow. I got to work tomorrow. Good talking to you, brother.
You too, man.
Peace.